What's it like living as a female expat in Asia? Why is it that countries in Southeast Asia have suddenly discovered an uptick in the number of people who are trying to get visas to come and live in their countries? And why is it that so many of the people who are applying to come and live in these countries now solo are women of around my age and older? Well, if those questions or anything about being an expat are of interest to you, congratulations, you're in the right spot. My name is Wendy, and for more than 3 decades, I have lived and worked in 5 different countries in Asia. And I still live and work in Asia, now in Thailand. Now, it's coming to very close to Christmas time at the moment, and I'm very lucky to have some family in town. That does not happen very often. In fact, I can count on one hand in the last probably 2 decades that I've had close family around for Christmas. This year I do, and it's incredibly exciting. So, how does it feel as an expat when you are so far away from family, unless somebody's coming to visit you or you're going to visit them? And it's a complex question, just like I think Christmas is complex for a lot of people anyway. Christmas can be an incredibly hard and lonely time for a lot of people. And being an expat won't buffer that away from you, but there are some things that you can kind of work around. Number one, if you're living in a country where Christmas isn't such a big deal, then you can pretend to ignore it. In Thailand, that's not really possible because Thais love a festival, and so even yesterday I was at a cafe that, in the 30-degree heat, it's hot here, was completely done up like a Swiss chalet. It had fake snow absolutely everywhere and reindeers, and there were Thais dressed in burgundy velvet dresses having their photos taken, doing the Christmas thing. So you can't avoid it entirely, but you can sort of try to ignore it. Certainly the commercialism of it, yes, it's still a commercial thing, but not in the same way as it is in the West. And I must say, as someone who's been away for a long time, I feel slightly horrified at the overconsumption when I look at, like, if I'm watching on YouTube and I watch, in other countries, or I catch some terrestrial TV from another country, and I'm slightly horrified at how much emphasis there is on buy, and not just celebrating together. And I think that is one of the differences. In expatriate communities, of course, Christmas is celebrated, but the emphasis on just buying a whole lot of stuff, Black Friday sales and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't factor in because you might not get the ads, or you certainly don't get the ads. I haven't seen, commercial television ads because they're all in another language for a very long time. Or if I've seen them, I totally ignore them, right? So that's a bit different. So what usually happens in expat communities is, unless you're trying to avoid it entirely and you're staying in your house and watching Netflix, you might catch up with some friends, get a new little friendship group. Remember, for expats, the people around them are their family. So the communities can be quite tight. There's lots of lunches. All of the hotels do something nice, or somebody will open up their home and everybody, brings something and takes it along, and you celebrate for the day. But to give you an example of how it works for me, I have to take annual leave on Christmas Day, and I take Boxing Day off as well, which is another annual leave day. So it's not a given. Schools obviously, stay open and do their thing. Do they celebrate Christmas? Absolutely. They've all got, Santas on the walls and everything. Does it have any particular relevance to the Buddhists? Not really. But they enjoy it. They enjoy a festival. There's Christmas trees up. They've got tourists coming. Bangkok looks amazing right now. So all of that kind of happens, but it's slightly different. Obviously, it's slightly different. And if you're used to being in a cold country, if you're in Southeast Asia at Christmas time, well, you can forget the cold. Like I said, it's all fake snow. Places like Hong Kong, it is actually cool. And China, of course, is very, very cold in the winter time. So, that can feel a little bit more like home for the Europeans. But actually, one of the great things about being an expat is that cultural diversity, right? So you get to kind of see how the Norwegians do it, or see how the Germans do it. Nothing better than a German market wherever you are, and they hold those in big cities in Asia as well. So it's interesting. Christmas and other festivities like that bring up a lot of emotions for expats. I'm being driven crazy at the moment because I can't get crackers, the bonbons, the Tom Smith things that I simply think that Christmas must have. But I've ordered a couple, and the order's been cancelled. A friend of mine ordered some, and they've also been cancelled. Something to do with getting gunpowder across the border, I guess. That makes it hard. So, Christmas will be different, but it certainly is celebrated. And in a way, it's not I'm not a religious person. I'm not saying that it's in a more pure form, but it's also not got that sort of heavy hang of commercialism because, yes, it's a shopping opportunity, but it's not as big a shopping opportunity as, let's say, something like Chinese New Year. And what tends to happen here is that people might buy food to share. So families will buy food to share and enjoy a bit of Christmas celebration, but not in any major way. And I have to say, it's actually quite nice. It's a nice way to celebrate. Even if you're at a nice hotel, they'll have all the bits and pieces. They'll have the Christmas cake and all that kind of stuff. But there's less pressure that I feel is in the West. And one of the things that I find frustrating, and I'm just blah-blahing now, is that knowing as I do the economic situation overseas, I watch the news and I know what it's like in places like America right now, Australia and England. People are suffering financially, other parts of Europe as well. Things are all up in the air. The world seems like it's on fire. And I've talked before about expats being in a little bubble. And, that's me too. And I've also said that bubble is quite nice, but you can't live deeply inside the bubble and ignore the rest of the world. So I see what's going on outside. And I think this Christmas is going to be a little bit tough for a lot of people. So I'm pleased that I live in a place that, although Christmas is celebrated, there's not the anxiety, the financial anxiety around it. And of course, if you don't have close family, being an expat is a good way to ignore them. And if you do have close family, it can be quite sad as well because you're really missing having those people. You're really missing the grandkids or, missing family around. It's a complex issue. But we certainly do celebrate Christmas. I'm going to celebrate Christmas because I have family in town and friends to spend some time with, and it will be lovely. And then the minute that it's over, everything will come down, and Chinese New Year is in February this year, and then Songkran, and off we go. We celebrate all the other festivals as well. So there you go, apropos nothing, just a chat today. I hope whatever you're doing for Christmas this year, whether you're ignoring it or you're well into it, I hope it all goes well for you. A crazy thing that I like to do, even though it's 35 damn degrees, a bit of eggnog, Christmas cake. Some traditions you just can't lose, right? Mince pies, they are available in all of the bakeries. Do the Thais understand why we eat mince pies? No, not for a second, but they tolerate it. So there you go. As I said, apropos nothing, Christmas is upon us. I hope that you have a wonderful and safe Christmas. I hope that whatever you're doing, it's exactly what you want to be doing. And if you are interested in more things about what it's like to be an expat and advice for females, don't forget to check out some of the other videos. Do feel that you can like and subscribe if you want to. I don't mind, but it would be nice. And whatever you're doing, I hope you stay safe. I hope you have a good time. You please take care of yourself. Remember, you are very important to me. And thank you so much for all of your support to everybody who supported me so far. Have a great Christmas. Bye-bye.